faces. If you can start your video, I love to see as many faces as possible. And I definitely want you to feel comfortable to ask questions. Please interrupt me if you're like, oh, ask a question or type a question in the chat, because I'm here to help you move your business, move the needle in your business. And like she said, and I'm not going to bore you with my story, but I was an anesthesiologist. I have not practiced medicine in 3.5 years. I actually left medicine full time, and I do Beachbody coaching full time. And I did that because I realized that I could have the financial security doing what I was doing for free before coaching. And I realized that just like medical school residency, the whole 12 years that it took me to get to become a board certified anesthesiologist, this business too takes delayed gratification. But I knew that I was going to be doing this regardless because Beachbody aligns with my core beliefs before I even knew what Beachbody coaching was, of exercise, nutrition, and supplementation are really the only way we are going to become our healthiest and happiest. And all of us know that people get on this diet roller coaster ride. And my opinion is the more you know and understand why people get on that and how you can use the tools that life has given you and Beachbody has given you to help people learn how to get off of those roller coaster rides and replace all these bad habits with good, healthy habits, then you've changed their lives forever. Now, how I want you to look at this, because I'm assuming if you are taking the time to be on this call live, you are either a hobby coach or a full-time coach, but you are doing this business. You're not just a discount coach. Nothing wrong with the discount coaches. We all know and love them. And we all know that they can change into working coaches at any moment in time once they realize the power of coaching. But I want you to go into this like you're a pharmaceutical rep. Now, back in the day when I was an anesthesiologist and we would have drug reps come to us, they would wine and dine us, bring crap food usually. They would do everything to make us be open-minded, especially if it was a new drug, be open-minded to hear why we should even consider breaking our routine of, well, this is kind of the standard patient. I typically use these drugs, and why would I even consider using, let's say, IV Tylenol? Okay, that was back when I was practicing medicine. That was kind of the newest thing. Really expensive. The drug reps made a lot of money from it, but the drug reps came in full of knowledge. So they knew every single question that the doctor was going to ask to possibly get them to be like, I don't know. Because that's what most of you do when it comes to Shakeology, right? So I want you to change the way that you see this job of yours as you're a drug rep, but you don't have prescription drugs. You have natural drugs that can truly heal someone. And I want you to 100% believe that, guys. Before I even was open-minded to Beachbody, I assumed that Shakeology was just like all of the other meal replacement supplements. I have a large dance fitness YouTube channel, and I would do these masterclass. I still do them. I do these master classes where people pay me money to go and teach a dance fitness class for 90 minutes, and people give me gifts. It's kind of cool. But I've been given gifts of Herbalife and Avocare and all of these things that the moment I started to learn about how important ingredients are, that was the moment that I started. I mean, they didn't know I threw it away, but I would look at the ingredients and be like, trash. So I learned after medical school, and this is something that any of you that are, maybe you're a medical practitioner or you know someone that is in Western medicine, you may have heard one of us talk about the fact that we're not taught about how to heal the body naturally. We are truly taught about how to prescribe drugs, do procedures, and surgeries, right? And while there will always be a need for Western medicine, because most patients just want a pill. They just want surgery. They don't want to do the hard work. But for the people that come to me and say, I don't want to be diabetic. I don't want to be on insulin the rest of my life. I don't want what this end-stage disease looks like. Can you help me figure out how to do it? That's what we do, guys. And I want you to understand the power of food. And I want you to, first of all, understand that Shakeology is food. And we're going to talk about this because when we have these conversations, it's funny because any of my new coaches, anytime they'll ask me questions like, well, someone said this, and I literally don't think twice about it. I spit out my response because I've got lots of knowledge in my brain. So I don't even think twice about it. And this is where you have to see this as Shakeology. And granted, I'm only going to be talking about Shakeology tonight, but I hope this call instigates a fire of wanting to learn about your other products, because there are a lot of other great products. And if any of you follow me on Instagram, I'm very, very open about the fact that I'm not a fan of all Beachbody programs or products. People that follow me know that Autumn Calabrese's voice gets on my last nerve. She's got great workout programs, but the fact is that the products that I believe in and I know the ingredients and I'm a fan of, I know them like a drug rep. And I know the other ones too. Like, for instance, beach bars. They're a better alternative for most bars out there, but they still have some ingredients that I'm not going to put in my body. So I will mention those to people that are not quite ready to go as extreme as I am, because they are a better alternative for others. But if you know your products and you know the ingredients and you know why that particular product is going to be beneficial for that particular client, you've got power, guys. You've got power to change their life. And of course, ultimately, you have power to move the needle in your business, right? And that's the beautiful thing about this coaching business. If you are successful in your business, that truly means that you're helping a shit ton of people. And isn't that why we're all here, right? Help a lot of people, make good money doing it, and have a life that we love. And I truly believe that you cannot love your life if you are not your healthiest and happiest. And that's our job. Our job is to teach people how to create healthy, happy lifestyles by teaching them exercise, nutrition, and supplementation. So supplementation, this is always the one which I'm sure you all hear. Well, is that really necessary? Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to not only explain why it is necessary. After you hear this call, you're going to be like, if you don't drink it every day, I bet you anything you're going to start drinking it every day. All right. So when I was in med school, I loved palindromes, which basically are the same letter or acronyms and palindromes, different ways, excuse me, to help me remember different theories, right? And so I came up with a palindrome that will help you remember the 5 major categories of Shakeology, because obviously we all hear, well, you know, I get my protein powder from Costco or whatever. And the first letter of the palindrome is, so the palindrome is, and I want you to write on your piece of paper, I have it right here, PAGAP, P-A-G-A-P. And I want you to leave room so that you can write next to each of them. And if you don't have pen and paper, go get it right now. I'm not going to wait for you, but go get it, because you're going to write like you're taking notes, okay? Don't pretend like you're taking notes. Actually take notes. So the first letter is P, and it's protein, because while, yes, we have protein in both the vegan and the non-vegan formulation of Shakeology, you are not protein deficient. And right here, if you say, you know how you can hear someone talk at you, and then they're talking, and then they say something that hits a chord with you. So let's say that you have struggled with weight loss. And let's say that you have been trying the keto diet, okay? And when you hear, well, I bet you anything, you might be eating too much protein, because did you know you're not protein deficient? And in fact, your body's super smart, and it uses the protein that it needs, and then the protein that it doesn't need, it turns to glycogen, which is essentially carbohydrates, glucose. And guess what happens? You are not tapping into your fat storage, right? You gain weight. So this is the first point of contention that you have. And automatically you start to gain trust from someone. You start to be like, okay, I know something, and they know something, and I think I might be able to trust them. I'm open, right? But you are not protein deficient. In fact, this is a common trick that food companies know that will make you buy something thinking that it's healthy because, 30 grams of protein, low sugar, blah, blah, blah. What they don't tell you is you were eating way too much protein. All of those processed foods have ingredients that make you crave foods, that mess up your hormones, that mess up your taste buds. They hijack your taste buds. They change your gut biome. And there is a reason why I'm going to talk about all of this, because you need to understand all of these things. And let me preface this by saying you don't need to be a doctor to understand all of this, but you do need to understand all of this. And most of the stuff that I have learned about nutrition has been after medical school and residency. It's been reading books, and I brought just 2 out. But you guys, this is a great book. If you have not read Darren Olean's Super Life, this is where you need to start. I interviewed him for my podcast. I've got a podcast. I have a lot of Beachbody coaches that follow me on Instagram and on my podcast, because I do teach a lot. This book is bomb. It's available on audiobook. If you're an audiobook listener like me, I do most of my learning. And then when I hear a bomb book, I will go buy it and I'll go mark it up. This is where you need to start. He talks a little bit about Beachbody, and if it does anything at all, it will make you have such a strong belief in our company and the fact that we don't cut corners. We just don't. It's so refreshing to hear that in that book. And then when I interviewed Darren Olean, like, we combined with a company that has high standards and are not going to cut corners just for profit. We make good money. Beachbody makes good money, but we don't cut corners. We could easily make way more money if we cut corners on ingredients. I promise you that. Another book that I will recommend, I'm actually going to interview this author on Thursday, called Deep Nutrition. It's thick. The audiobook is freaking 26 hours long, but you have got to start learning about nutrition, because guess what, guys? The way our business is moving, exercise programs are not going to be what keeps people around. It's the support on the hardest part, which is the nutrition and supplementation. I promise you that. So while I love a lot of Beachbody workouts, there's no competition in the Peloton and the CrossFit and the hot yoga. Like, there will always be those things, but there will never be the same support that people have in you, helping them with their nutrition and supplementation, which is 85% of the equation anyway, because exercise is important. But if you can get this nutrition thing down and teach other people how to do it, you're going to change thousands of lives. And then, of course, you're going to build your business in an amazing way. Okay. So the first P of PAGAP is protein. Now, do I think it's necessary for you to know the difference between the whey versus the vegan? I don't think you need to know every single, like, well, the vegan has chia and pea and blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's necessary. It's good for you to know that, but I don't think it's necessary that you need to know each individual protein source from both the whey and the vegan formulation, because you'll be surprised. When I was first getting ready to do a team call on Shakeology a few months ago, I literally wrote down all of the different proteins, and I was like, oh, but there are actually a lot of the same protein sources. One of the things that you need to know is the whey protein isolate. So that is the one major difference between the plant-based versus the non-plant-based. And notice, I like to say plant-based, and I love the fact that they put plant-based on the Recover instead of vegan. I think that word scares people off, to be honest. So I try to be mindful to say plant-based versus vegan, okay? And when I talk to people, I let them know that I prefer to start them on the plant-based. And I explain why. So whey protein isolate is dairy. Now, a lot of people don't understand that they actually do way better without dairy. They start to lose the bloat. Their hormones start to regulate, because the fact is that if you're eating dairy, most likely it comes from cows that are pumped full of hormones and antibiotics. And guess what? You're eating those hormones and antibiotics too, and they're messing with your hormones, and they cause all sorts of crazy stuff. So this is why the quality of dairy is super important. But I've seen such a good outcome by just taking my clients off of dairy all around in the first 30 days and letting them see, it's not like, oh, you can't have dairy the rest of your life, but letting them see their skin is going to clear up, their bloating is going to go away, a lot of their joints are going to stop aching. Like, you don't understand how inflammatory regular dairy is. And I don't think that the whey protein isolate is from grass-fed, grass-finished cows. So there's that element, that it's probably coming from grain-fed cows that are given hormones and antibiotics. And so I have definitely, I used to be that person because I've always believed in supplementation. I've always taught some sort of a fitness class, and I've always gotten my information from bro science, from health magazines and stuff. And so I was that person that would drink the protein shake after working out because that's what they told me to do, right? And it gave me the worst gas, and I didn't realize it's whey. So all of these changes alone could be a game changer. So letting them understand why you're recommending the plant-based versus the non, and giving them the option. And still, sometimes I have people that even when they hear my reasoning, they're like, no, I think I want the non-plant-based. Okay, that's cool. I'm here to coach them and give them options and give them my recommendations, right? So protein. The whey protein isolate is actually out of the different kinds of whey. The whey protein isolate is the one that is supposed to be less irritating on the GI system. So less farting. It still makes me fart when I have it. I'm not going to be, I'm going to be honest, right? Okay, so let's move on. So PAGAT. So P, the first P is protein. The second A is antioxidants. Now, you don't need to be a biochemistry major or whatever to understand that free radicals from oxidation are bad. They cause all sorts of problems. They cause cancer. They cause cell damage. You don't need to know all of those details. You just need to know that the superhero that takes care of that free radical that is a byproduct from oxidation is an antioxidant. And Shakeology has so many antioxidants, okay? Now, before I knew what Shakeology was and before I was open-minded to considering it, because I thought it was like all of the other crap products, the moment that I would learn about a supplement that would change everything, I would buy it. I was that person. We all know that Tony Horton commercial where he's at the grocery store. It's so cheesy. I love him though. He's doing all of the supplements, and the total final bill is like $700. And he's like, or you could do this. And he brings the bag of Shakeology. Like, that was me. I spent money on high quality products because I know that the supplement industry, it's like the wild, wild west. And 95% of them are coming from companies that there's no standards. There's no way to guarantee that you're getting what you get. So unless you buy from a company that has a very good reputation, you're probably not getting anywhere near what you think you're getting. And it probably comes from like roach infested factories and third world countries, like not even kidding. So I assumed that Beachbody was the same way, assumed incorrectly, right? So now that I realize all of these different antioxidants, adaptogens, all of these different superfood supplements that I was buying individually are all in Shakeology for a good reason, I'm like, sign me up, like for real. Now, those of you that are religious about drinking Shakeology, it's funny, I'm going to tell you a story. Some of you might know Shaun T interviewed me and my upline coach. My upline coach is Melissa McAllister. She is the only coach in Beachbody that has been in the top 10 7 times. She's approaching number 8. She's amazing. She's been a Beachbody coach for 11 years. And Shaun T interviewed me and Melissa on his IGTV about intermittent fasting. And so today we're texting because we have a 3-way text message. And he all of a sudden is asking about, okay, so what is it that you guys believe? He's asking a lot of questions because Melissa and I have the same belief. We approach our clients and our coaches with a high fat, moderate protein, low carbohydrate lifestyle with intermittent fasting and daily Shakeology. And Shaun goes, I don't want to drink Shakeology daily. And both Melissa and I came back and we were like, but why not? And at the end of the day, I know he doesn't understand all of the goods that comes along with Shakeology, right? So those of you that have been drinking Shakeology every day since you became a coach, I'm guessing that you can count on one hand, maybe even with 2 or 3 fingers, how many times you've been sick. It's not a coincidence, guys. You have to see Shakeology as all of these building blocks. So let's say that you are building a house, right? Now we all know that the foundation's super important, right? But what if the dump truck that was supposed to come and deliver concrete and all of the stuff that a normal foundation was supposed to deliver, what if they came and delivered styrofoam? That wouldn't be okay, right? Well, yeah, well, this is all we were given to work with, so this is what you get to build your house on. No. What you feed your body are those building blocks and all of those things that fill in the gaps. So food is not just fuel, it's information, okay? And all of those antioxidants that the A of PAGAP, all of those antioxidants are helping you stay not sick, stay healthy, not get sick, helping you fight all sorts of free radicals that cause all sorts of damage, from autoimmune disorders, inflammatory diseases like diabetes, hypertension. It's helping fight autoimmune disorders. Like, there are so many things that good antioxidants do. And if you don't understand that, then you don't understand the value of Shakeology, right? Okay, so as far as knowing the antioxidants, because I always think of antioxidants, parentheses, superfruits, because the superfruits are what have the antioxidants, right? Do you necessarily need to know all of the superfruits like goji berry, camu camu, acerola cherry? I don't think it's necessary. I've had very few people ask me specifically what it is. And if I can't come up with it out of the blue, I can always be like, hold that thought. And I go, look, I just know why these superfruits that are full of antioxidants are super important. And I'm going to make sure that I'm not missing, but he'll drink daily sunshine. We're not going to talk about that tonight. This is going to be an amazing recording. Oh, yay. Thank you, Kimberly. Okay. I'll get to those later. Okay. So let's go to the third letter of your palindrome. So the first P is protein. The second A is antioxidants. The third, I think it's a tie for the most important. Either this one or the next letter are the most important. G is for gut health, okay? And the more that we learn, the more we realize that everything is connected to your gut health. Literally, it starts from the day that you were born and the way in which you were born. If you did the super slide out of your mom's vagina and you got to swallow all of her bacteria, your gut is healthier than the person who was delivered by a C-section. Isn't that crazy? Like, that is literally nature, God, whatever you believe, the universe designed us perfectly. And the moment that we start interfering with this perfect design, we just jack up this perfect thing that our human body is, okay? So gut health is so important. If you have a person that has a history of being on multiple antibiotics throughout childhood, you already know that their gut biome is screwed. I was about to say the F word, but I don't know my audience here. The fact is that your gut biome does everything. It literally, there are multiple studies of people that are, and if you just got on, if you can mute yourself, because I can hear someone. There are multiple studies that show transplanting your feces from a skinny mouse to a fat mouse, and the fat mice become skinny, and vice versa. Like, I don't think you understand how important this whole gut health really is. And for you to understand that we have 3 elements that address gut health, huge, absolutely huge. So let's start with the first, the probiotic. Everyone knows probiotic, but what you don't know is that most of the probiotics are the cheap version that don't even make it to the small intestines where they need to get to be able to do their thing, okay? So why is that? Well, it's expensive, and companies can cut corners and say that it's probiotics, and the unsuspecting customer will buy it and spend a lot of money on it, but guess what? It's not doing any good, because these bacterium don't have this protective encapsulating capsule around it to protect it going from the esophagus to the stomach, all the gastric enzymes, and then to get to the small intestine. But guess what? There is a particular strain of probiotic called Bacillus coagulans, and that happens to be the probiotic that Beachbody has in Shakeology. It's more expensive, but it's one of the only ones that actually gets to the small intestine where we need it to work and do all of its magic, okay?
Can you say what that probiotic was called again?
Absolutely. Bacillus coagulans. I'll type it right here so you can write it down. Bacillus coagulans. I believe that's the way you spell it. Close enough. But when you say it, you sound really smart, right? So Bacillus coagulans is our probiotic. Now, I bet a lot of you don't know, but one of the products in the Ultimate Reset is for gut health that has Bacillus coagulans and a prebiotic. And so if you have a person that has just had to do a round of antibiotics, that would be a great product for you to offer up to help repopulate the gut biome with some good bacteria, right? So in gut health, you have 3 different things that I want you, for G is gut health: probiotics, prebiotics, and digestive enzymes. So we've already covered probiotics, right? So prebiotics, all you got to think about prebiotics, it's the food that the probiotic needs to eat. That's it. So it's fiber, right? And so we have 2 different sources of fiber that work as a prebiotic. So if a person is taking a lot of probiotics, but they're not feeding their gut with good prebiotics, those probiotics are going to die. So they need the prebiotic food. And there's so many different, and I challenge you, I hope that this call challenges you to just be curious and want to know more, because obviously there's a lot of other prebiotics that are not in Shakeology that can help with gut health. There's a lot of other ways to get healthy probiotics into your GI tract. So obviously, at the end of the day, most of us became coaches because we wanted to work on us first and then help other people. And so I'm hoping that this helps a lot of you too, so that you can in turn help other people. So the third part of gut health is digestive enzymes, okay? Now, pretty much, I believe there's 6 or 7 different digestive enzymes, but all you need to know is that the words that end with ACE, so ASC, that's basically medical jargon for an enzyme. Like lipase, it's an enzyme that breaks down lipocytes, right? So the first syllable before ACE is what it breaks down. So all of the proteases and the whatever, you just need to know that these digestive enzymes help you break down the food so that the gut can do what it's supposed to, okay? You don't need to know all of the individual ACEs, the individual digestive enzymes, but you need to know that when you have a person that, well, okay, let's start off with this. The standard American diet. Standard American diet leads to the worst gut issues, okay? So if you have a person, and we've all had this customer come to us, be like, I don't like Shakeology, we'll talk about that in a little bit, or it upsets my stomach, all right? So don't leave it at that. Our job as coaches is to get really good at asking questions, right? And so I immediately start asking, one, by this time I already kind of know what their nutrition was before they came to me, so I don't really need to ask that, but I'll ask them how they made it, because if they bought the plant-based, but they're making it, blending it with milk, and they typically don't have milk, and maybe they put some other, dairy, whatever, like I need to make sure that the way they're making it, they're not putting other things in it that could upset the GI tract, specifically dairy, okay? So they tell me, no, it's just water and ice, and I blend it up. Then that lets me know that their gut biome is so sick that all of a sudden it's getting all of this good stuff that it's like, what the, which is totally normal. And I let them know, okay, don't freak out. That's actually good. That means that, you know what? We have room for improvement. This is why Beachbody gives you 30 days to use this product. We're going to ease you into it though. And we're going to start with 1/4 of a scoop or 1/2 a scoop. And we're going to do that for a few days. And then we're going to increase it. But your gut needs to be repopulated with good bacteria. And we're going to do that with adding Shakeology and changing your nutrition. You guys, if all they do is drink Shakeology every day and they don't change what they eat, you're not helping them. Bottom line, you have got to help them change what they eat. And obviously all of the Beachbody programs have their own nutrition plan. If you're like me and a lot of, I named my team the Misfits because we're kind of the misfits of Beachbody. We don't follow the Beachbody nutrition plans, and I'm okay with that. And the fact is that you need to help them with some sort of a nutrition approach, right? So PAGAP, protein, antioxidants, and gut health, right? Now let's go on to the fourth category. This is tied in my brain with, maybe not, this is a close second. And this is a category that I was fascinated to learn about because I'd never even heard of this category of superfoods until like 5 years after residency. It's the adaptogens. Now, you do not need to know the biochemistry, why adaptogens work, but you do need to understand where they're helpful. So adaptogens are these plants that grow in places that it's hard to grow. Think about the tree line. Once you're past a certain point in the tree line, it's hard well, trees can't grow, obviously, and it's hard for other things to grow. So plants that live at that tree line have these certain chemical properties that are basically adaptogenic, and they help adapt and overcome stress. And guess what? When we consume those same chemicals from those foods, we get those same benefits. So adapt, overcome stress. Who doesn't have stress in their lives? Like, hello? And of course, as coaches, I'm not going to preach to you about this, but part of helping coach a person getting healthier and happier is to address the stress in their lives. So if their sleep is out of control, if they're not having good stress management, whatever, but let them know that the adaptogens are one of the best ways. And guess what? The adaptogens are also in focused energy. So I'm a fan of all of the boosts, but this is where if you don't know what the ingredients are, then you don't have the power to help people, right? So let's talk about some of the adaptogens. I love this one just because I like to say it, ashwagandha. I mean, who doesn't sound smart when they say that, right? This is just one of the adaptogens that are in Shakeology. Chaga, you guys, this medicinal mushroom, I was taking medicinal mushrooms way before I even knew that they were in Shakeology. And when they added some of the medicinal mushrooms, I was really happy about that. Because the moment that I started to learn about these adaptogens, and like chaga is, if not the most, it's one of the top 3 most potent antioxidants that basically like makes your immune system like super proof. Like, why would you not take chaga every day? And guess what? It's in your Shakeology, right? This is why I told Shanti, I'm like, why do you not want to drink Shakeology every day? Like, it's legit 70 plus super ingredients that help you be your most superhuman self. And if anyone is concerned about that, he's concerned about that, right? So the last P, so let's go through the PGAPs. So first P, protein. Second A is antioxidants. Third, G is gut health, which it's the 3 for probiotics, prebiotics, and digestive enzymes. And then the A is adaptogens, and the last P is the phytonutrients, okay? Now, the phytonutrients, this is something where if you follow anyone that's in the health and wellness nutrition niche, everyone's taking some power greens and some, super greens or whatever. There is a reason why, guys. All of these phytonutrients go into your body and just do some amazing stuff, okay? Do you need to know all of the individual phytonutrients? No, but you need to understand that phytonutrients, so this is a good one. We always get people that come to us and want us to compare the different MLMs, right? And it's a vitamin company. Help me out. That they basically have, they're a vitamin company that's MLM. Anyway, it'll come. Juice Plus. Thank you, Danielle. Yes, right there. Juice Plus. So anytime that I have someone, because I know pretty much most of the ingredients in a lot of the competitors, but like Juice Plus is the one that I'm like, it's a pill that you have to take every day. And I've had plenty of people like, it's doctor, there's medical research. So if you dive into it, the medical research basically says that if you eat a diet that has more fruits and vegetables in it, and you can get all of the phytonutrients from that by consuming those vitamins and those fruits and vegetables dried, by getting the supplement form, it will make you healthier. Well, yeah, I totally agree with that. But guess what? My product has that, and then it has this, and then it has that. It's got so much more. And so it's way more value for your buck, and you get so much more. All right. Now, one thing, while we're talking about comparison, because I don't like to be like, well, blah, 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 blah. I like to give people information so that they can draw their own conclusions, right? So for example, sucralose. Sucralose is an artificial sweetener. This is, if you know the top 3 ingredients that are bad for people that are in a majority of the health and fitness supplements, and you can explain to them why they shouldn't be taking those, that gives them information. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I didn't even realize. You guys, I take my phone with me to the grocery store every Wednesday, and I do teaching, and I do Insta stories, and I'll teach people. I just want them to start reading ingredients, because there's so many hidden ingredients that jack with your everything on the ingredient label. I don't care grams of fat, calories, blah. I don't care, like, ingredients. I want people eating whole natural foods. So if you know that most have these, write these 3 down: soy, artificial sweeteners, and the preservatives, additives, and artificial colors and artificial ingredients. So those 3 big categories are in like 99% of health and fitness nutrition supplements. And if you can explain to them why they should care about not consuming those, you will, 1, gain trust from them, and 2, you'll gain a customer. I'm telling you, like, I don't need to go and be like, Herbalife is bad because all of their products have sucralose. I don't do that. It's true. Most of them have sucralose in it, but I just tell them why sucralose is bad. Why should they care? Why does it affect them? And why should they start looking at ingredients? Now they start realizing, if you guys knew how many people DM me back like, oh my gosh, I assumed this was healthy the whole time, and I finally looked at the ingredients. Oil bad. Anyway, I get off the topic. Other companies. This is the only time that I will make this comparison, and I will let people know that, well, did you know out of all of the nutrition supplement MLMs, all of them tried to get their meal replacement supplement approved as a whole food in the UK, so it doesn't have the 20% VAT. Our Shakeology is the only one that got approved because they tested every single 70 plus ingredient and realized it's a whole food, and not another product out there can make that claim. That's huge, guys. So anytime that someone comes to you and is like, well, I like to eat my food. Yeah, bitch, so do I. I mean, I don't really say that. Maybe sometimes I do. Maybe in my head I say it. But the fact is, the whole point of this call is I want you to understand that knowledge is power. And if you're not moving your business, it's because you're being lazy, not understanding how amazing the products that we have to offer really are. If a pharmaceutical rep comes into my OR, which thank God I don't have to be in the OR anymore, but if they came into my OR and didn't know their product, I would never try it out. And how many of you have lost potential customers because you didn't know your product? That's what this call is about. I could talk all day, every day about Shakeology and all of the benefits and like the different, okay, so some of the phytonutrients, moringa, like if you hear Darren O'Lean talk about it, like, I mean, he almost gets a boner from it because he gets so excited about it. Not even kidding. Like, he gets really excited about superfoods, okay? But if you, when I was writing notes for this a few months ago, the different adaptogens, ashwagandha, astragalus, chagas, schisandra, reishi, cordyceps, maca, maitake, like all of those are fun to say. Do you need to know all of the individual benefits from it? No, but it doesn't hurt. Like if someone asked me, hey, you know, I heard that the moringa, so let me give you this example. I heard that the moringa is not good if you're trying to get pregnant because I've heard that it causes spontaneous miscarriages. Well, yes, I have heard that, but that is only if you're consuming other parts of the plant beside the leaf. and we only have the leaf in our product. Mind blown, right?
Somebody just asked me that yesterday.
Ah, there you go. There you go. But I want you guys to understand, like, you know, I do have a lot of Beachbody coaches that follow me on Instagram. I'm constantly trying to teach because I truly believe that it's going to be the individuals that are on this call, the individual coaches that are in this for the right reasons and not to just make money. We are the only way that we're going to reverse this health crisis. It's not going to be with the ketone movement. It's not going to be with the skinny tea movement. It's not going to be with any of these quick fixes that only jack up people's mental, hormone, emotional, everything. We have the answer, guys. We have the cure for cancer. Like, legit, I don't think you understand how powerful the tools that you have at your hands are. And if you start to really learn and start to use and practice them, I promise you, you will not only see the needle moving in your business, but you will start to reap the benefits. The best part of this job is changing people's lives forever. Legit changing people's lives forever. So, okay. I think I covered it all. Oh, I do want to, since we were talking about pregnant women, I want to tell you this. Of course, we always get this question, right? And of course, you can always quote me and be like, hey, you know, this chick who's a medical doctor, she told me this. Of course, you know, she's not your medical doctor and you can't get medical advice from anyone besides your medical doctor. But if I were to be pregnant, I would be drinking Shakeology every damn day. I might even drink 2 scoops of it every day. If I was breastfeeding, I would be drinking it every day. Like, legit. And the thing is that you guys don't understand, no drug or supplement will ever be approved by an OBGYN, a pediatrician, or a family practitioner doctor, because they can be sued up to 18 years because the what if factor. So doctors will always err on the side of don't take it because they can be sued. But I always tell people, look, you know, I'm a medical doctor, but not your medical doctor. But if you were my sister, I would insist you take it every day. I wouldn't give you an option. I truly believe, unless you have a true anaphylactic allergic reaction to one of the ingredients in Shakeology, every single person should be drinking this every day. That's how much I believe in it. And I just want you to understand, if you don't have that belief in it after this call, I think there's something wrong with you. So, okay. So questions. Y'all can just unmute yourself and I'll kind of, if someone wants to like ask the questions so I don't have to scroll because there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, I can.
Can you put your Instagram name somewhere in the comments before you hang up on us?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's Dr. before I hang up on you, it's Dr. Lauren Fitz. I won't hang up on you until I get all the questions answered.
You guys can ask them in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and ask.
Yes.
Thank you.
Of course, yeah. I love that. My OBGYN was starting to buy it off you when she saw how much more milk you were producing. Yeah, no, I don't think you guys understand. Like, it's just so much more than a freaking protein shake, you know?
Well, she asked me what I was doing differently, like with my everything, because with my first kid, I like could not really produce at all. Like we were having a really hard time. And with my second child, she was like, girl, what are you doing that you didn't do before? And I was like, I kind of drink this shake thing and I work out. And she was like, I want whatever that is. Like, can I look at it? And I just gave her some free samples. And then for my next appointment, like, she was like, get me on there.
Yeah, for sure. I see Michelle asked, or no, it was Joanne asked which packet in Ultimate Reset you were referring to. I don't remember the name of it. I should have probably brought it out. If anyone has, Carla, what is it? Unmute yourself and tell us.
It's Revitalize.
Boom, Revitalize. Yeah,
Yeah,
right there. And it has a pre and a probiotic.
that program is amazing. The Ultimate Reset.
Yes, it is. It really is.
Gut health.
For sure. What type of nutrition plan do you follow? So great question. So, and this is one thing that I want you guys to understand. It is okay to not be a fan of everything that Beachbody comes out with. Like, I don't like all of their fitness programs. And if I don't like a program, I'm not going to promote it. But that doesn't mean that it might be the right program for someone I'm helping, right? When I work with a client, I always let them know that they have options to follow any of the nutrition plans that come along with whatever program they're following. But in my experience, and I truly believe this is probably, I have high hopes that this will be a Beachbody program option in the future. And I'm hoping that a certain celebrity in Beachbody can help make that happen. But I truly believe in a whole food approach with higher fat, moderate protein, and lower carbohydrate lifestyle. Because eating that way with whole foods, and I'm not talking keto. People do keto and they screw up their hormones. But about 60 to 65%, you're getting healthy fats. About 10 to 15%, you're getting carbohydrates. So most of those carbohydrates are coming from vegetables, so non-starchy vegetables and Shakeology. And then the rest is protein. And I will tell you guys, unless you're bodybuilding and getting ready for a competition, you do not need that much protein. And just like I said earlier, if you eat too much protein, it turns to glycogen anyway, which will in turn be stored as fat because you use the glycogen and it whatever you don't use, it's stored as fat. So I truly believe the problem with so many people is not they're eating too many calories and exercising not enough. That actual equation has been misproven time and time again. And that's why I don't believe in the timed nutrition or the Beachbody, because it's all caloric deprivation. I believe that it's a hormone imbalance. And if you start feeding your body foods that don't jack with your hormones. So let me just give you a few examples. So estrogen dominance. If you drink alcohol, you probably have some level of estrogen dominance, especially if you drink it every day. If you're eating meat, conventionally raised meat, you are probably getting the hormones and the antibiotics that are in that meat and probably causing you estrogen dominance. So right there, if we can cut out alcohol and conventionally raised red meat, we can get your estrogen back in whack. Insulin, I did a great post today. I would love for y'all to go and give me some love on it. I literally, I went downstairs in the basement and I found my boyfriend, his son, he just went off to college, but he had old like toys that with a hat and a Nerf gun. And so I stood in front of the basement door and I said, Transformer Tuesday, is that a thing? But I used that visual to teach the concept of insulin, because insulin resistance is an underlying problem in a majority of people. And if people understand that if they don't let their insulin rest, they can't tap into their deep freezer, their storage, their fat cells, right? This time nutrition is bullshit in my opinion. We were not meant to eat every 2 to 3 hours. Humans have been on this planet for 2.5 million years. We didn't always have refrigeration. We didn't always have a grocery store. We were meant to feast and fast. And so if you don't let your insulin hormone go to sleep, which means that you stop eating for longer than 2 or 3 hours, then you can't tap into that storage. So it's a hormonal problem. So that's the way I teach. And I actually, one of my coaches is on here right now and she's lost 49 pounds from this approach. And she's struggled with her weight most of her life, following the traditional advice of eat low fat, eat less calories, eat more, or exercise more. That advice I gave to my patients all the time, but when it wasn't working on me at 34, I realized it's got to be something else, because I was working my ass off in the gym. I knew what I was doing and it wasn't working on me. And that's when I started to learn and started to read books. And it's at your fingertips. You just have to want to learn it, you know? What's your response to people who say they don't take non-certified allergen-free products? Example, gluten-free. Well, rumor is that they are working on making it gluten-free. That's the rumor. But I let them know that I use the money back guarantee all the time. I'm like, look, what you are doing is not working. Why don't you just try and trust me for 30 days? And if it doesn't do anything, get your money back. It will not hurt my feelings. But this is the equation that I've seen help tons and tons of people, and I'm pretty sure it's going to help you. So just trust me for this next 30 days, and let's see. Because I have plenty of celiac patients that take Shakeology every day that do just fine. Severe celiac patients that do just fine. So oftentimes also a little bit of education, letting them know that oftentimes food allergies stem from poor gut health, so leaky gut. So let them know, say, we're going to be working on this. We're going to be working on getting your gut health back in track. We're going to be like, literally, this doesn't happen overnight. You know, this is more than just starting an exercise program and eating less calories. It's more than that. We are trying to teach them how to become healthier. All right. What other questions?
Any questions, guys? I think you nailed a ton of them.
Okay, good. Good. I'm trying to scroll up and see if I missed any of them.
And if you guys have any more, if you think of it when you get off the call, I can connect you with her. You can go on our Instagram.
Absolutely. All right, cool. Well, if y'all don't have any more questions, then I appreciate y'all's time. And I would love to meet some of you guys at Summit. So if I'm walking by you, grab me and hug my neck, okay?
All right, so we have a really unique way of saying thank you. So I'm just going to mute everybody really quick. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. That was amazing. I will post the recording. I will send it to you too.
Awesome.
And make sure your coaches hear this call because it's so knowledgeable and it's gonna help them so much. So thank you so much.
You're
Bye,
welcome.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.